we are going to be talking about the documentary Queen of Lapa, which is screening at the Lake County Film Festival. We have our co-directors, Carolina Monnerat and Theodore Collatos. Welcome to Films Gone Wild.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I can't wait to talk about this one. We're going to start it off by having one of you introduce our audience to the film that have not had a chance to see it. So tell us what Queen of Lapa is about.
Queen of Lapa is a feature film. It revolves around Luana Muniz, who is a internationally known activist, performer, and trans sex worker in Brazil. And she runs this just lovely kind of hostel for girls and does a lot of work and just creates a community and a family and a safe space. And it's a direct cinema style film. It's very observational, non-intrusive, and tells their story.
It tells her story wonderfully, and it's such a wonderful profile and celebration, frankly, of Luana and her work, and congratulations to both of you on that front. My first question, I was enjoying the hell out of the film. Of course, she is just a personality among personalities. But I was struck by this from the filmmaker's perspective. Transsexual people in general have such a strong sense of their own self-image, their own kind of mythology, and I was really eager to talk to both of you about that, because not just Luana, but the rest of the girls, whether it be Gabby, whether it be any of the other girls, they are so clearly, working on this presentation of who they are and what they are, that it may not be exactly what it is. And as documentarians, you are both trying to get to the truth. And so talk about that, about allowing them to do what they do, and yet also get underneath that a little bit.
Yeah, we get that question sometimes, definitely. A lot of people see Luana and the girls, and they are so big, they have such big personalities, that sometimes it feels to the audience that they are performing to the camera. And what we can promise you is that when the camera was off, it was exactly the same personality that we were getting. I think that is also something to be true to Brazilian people. They are very performative and loud, and especially the majority of the trans sex workers, they have an artist component to their life. So they do a lot of shows, they do a lot of lip syncing shows and performances, and then just the act even of like the way that they do their hair and the makeup, the way that they take such great care of their image, it is just part of their being. And that's really who they are. Luana is the same with the cameras on or off.
Yeah, I mean, what you're asking is like an extremely complicated question, because we all perform, like I don't naturally speak this way, and, etc. So the question, I don't know what to say. It's not over dramatized in the way that you may think it is. But what Luana has really done is created this like not utopia, but a very safe place for people to be truly who they want to be and are. And so in filming, there's many layers, and it's just about meeting people. It's just people's moods and personalities, and it's not as performative in that way as you would imagine. But there's also an element of extreme danger on the street. And so, you have to be on guard, whether, you're filming or working. It's a serious situation. So,
well, that's the thing. It's like, at one point, you're having a segment with Gabby where she had been attacked the night before, and and she's showing, which which if she hadn't shown us, where the bruises or wounds were, we would not have seen them, because again, as we're saying, there's such a very practiced, way of how they present themselves, and and what have you. And that's the thing, and so that's again why I was curious, because again, you're trying to to get to what the story is, and yes, and let's face it, by this point, all of us, because of the advent of reality television, all of us now are in this place where we either have had the camera on us at some point, or we've thought about the idea of having the camera on us. But man, when you're talking about someone who's a transsexual or transgender, there is again, there's so many wonderful observational shots that you both got, where we are watching the preparation, we're watching the makeup, we're watching the hair, we're watching getting dressed, and it's almost, even that process alone is almost ceremonial, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure. And even it's getting ready. They say sometimes it's getting ready for a war. And I think the most ceremonial thing that we witness is actually when they go down the steps to go to the street. And, that's a moment of solitude and a moment of asking for whatever religion, because there were many different religions represented in the house, whatever God you believe in, for protection. And then you go down the stairs. It's definitely very ceremonial.
Yes, yeah, and then there is, and it is, I thought that was striking, that there are a number of deities represented there in the house, and but the focus is always that someone to watch over me, someone for protection. And all right, so now this is a question I think is very very viable here, that I love to ask documentarians, and that is the moment, kind of like the Eureka moment that you have as a filmmaker, as a documentarian. Sometimes it's during an interview or footage that you're shooting. Sometimes it's in the editing bay, where you go, this is the movie. I thought this was the movie. Oh, but no, this moment, now I know this is the movie right here. And I would love for both of you individually to talk about, for your personal kind of Eureka moments with Queen of Lapa.
I mean, the filming, like it's not a movie. It was a real experience. Like, so in the context is kind of weird to say, like, what is the movie? Because the movie for us is the life, and the relationships made, just on a personal level. And a lot of the intimacy we got is just because we liked each other and we trusted each other, and there wasn't an agenda. There wasn't a prefixed movie. When we talked to Luana about possibly doing a project, when we were hanging out, we just said, we don't know what the film's going to be. And, we've said before, like, a lot of people try to do films with Luana and the girls, and she doesn't allow any of it, because a lot of them, it's exploitational, sort of like the news story that we showed. And we just said, we have no idea what this is going to be. And Luana would ask us, like, well, what's the angle? What's the story? And we're like, we have no idea. We're just going to live life and see what it is. But there's just so much, like, depth and complexity and intimacy and like laughter and sadness and stories and say.
But was there one particular, like, moment during an interview where, say, maybe the two of you looked at each other and go, oh, this that one, and maybe again while you're editing, where you go, oh, this one here, this was a magic one for us?
It really was like an organic process. Like, every step was a discovery. So
well, I think it was the first day. So the first day we shot for the 12 hours, and at first Luana gave us the access to the house for one day. So we're like, sure, we take it. So, and then of course at the end of the day she said, you can come back. And by hour 2 of the first day, everybody was so comfortable with each other, that I think when we came back home after 12 hours of filming the first day and we start to capture the footage, we're like, we could actually do a documentary just with this 12 hours because so much happened in those 12 hours. So I think there was just kind of that sense of release too for us that, okay, even if there was just one more day that we have with them, we have enough here to make into a compelling story.
And the film like represented our experience in the way of the trust. So when we saw like it coming through the film, what we're actually living, I mean, in a way that was the Eureka thing, because that's the kind of space of the entire movie. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, again, you know, I think it is, you know, and I don't say it slightly, but I think it's an important film. You know, obviously, for the work that Luana did, and you know, and for really, you know, showing quite a context, giving the context of that community, and you know, and the survival and the personality of it. I thought, you know, I thought it was just captured wonderfully. So congratulations very much on that. You know, this is, I think, my third festival that I work with that has had Queen of Lapa, and
Yeah.
and you know, and I look forward to, you know, maybe having a couple more before you guys you know, stop your tour. But again, the film is Queen of Lapa. We've been talking to the co-directors Carolina Monnerat and Theodore Collatos. It's been great talking films with you.
Thank you so much for having us.
We're really happy to be here.